2018 Citroen C1 Review. The good points of Citroen C1. Distinctive looks. Low running costs. Fun airscape trim. The bad points of Citroen C1. Cramped cabin. Noisy engines. Miserly spec on basic model. Since its introduction in 2005, Citroën sold a lot more than 760,000 degrees of its original C1 city car. It's well liked by learner drivers, young mums, empty nesters and everyone between. And with great reason. The new Citroen C1, provided with both 3 and 5 doors, provides extensive to live approximately, especially in terms of sales. Luckily, it's got the looks and affordable to make its way on the same shopping lists. But there are several other improvements. Watch, Citroen C1 vs Kia Picanto vs Skoda Citigo. Citroen C1, quality upgrades. To make sure increased desirability, Citroen has upped the standard this smart city car is wearing offer. It's integrated the same factory since its Peugeot 108 and Toyota Go counterparts. All with the engineering may be handled by Toyota. This means the C1 is regarded as the solid supermini in French fermiette. Inside there's a 7.0-inch infotainment system such as radio, Bluetooth, video player as well as an onboard computer. Mirror link technology allows the motive force to copy smartphone content on the multimedia system, though in your experience it wasn't quite as slick in reality as it sounded in writing. You'll also notice keyless entry, hill start assist, climate control, heated seats, reversing camera and memory settings for your front seats within the standard and optional kit lists. Citroen C1, petrol engines only. Buyers on the C1 are on a set of petrol engines to select from. Both have 3 cylinders and they are either 1.0 or 1.2 liters in proportions. The former develops 70 horsepower. Speculate the C1 weighs below 1,000 kilograms still manages to feel sprightly enough out, in spite of the 13-second 0.62 miles per hour time. Those over a quest for speed would prosper to look elsewhere. The 1.2-liter PureTech engine develops 84 horsepower which enables it to complete the 0.62 miles per hour sprint in 10.9 seconds. Like its smaller brother, it lets you do its best performance before 30 miles per hour, though. Either way, both engines are vocal, that has a distinct 3-cylinder thrum that never truly disappears, a cruise. To take your head off it, both will slip under 100 gkm of CO2 emissions plus the smaller engine promises nearly 74.3 miles per gallon. The larger 1.2-liter PureTech delivers in excess of 65 miles per gallon in official fuel consumption tests. That means they are both cheap running, on account of low fuel bills and rates. A good-looking small hatchback. Buyers trying to find some personality because of their C1 should investigate Airscape model, which boasts an electrically folding fabric roof that runs the length from the cabin, offering wind inside the hair motoring without any in the scuttle-shake shortfalls. Otherwise the C1 comes in 3 trims, touch, feel and flare using the 800 by 7/16 fabric roof Airscape option offered on feel or flare only. There are 8 exterior colors from which to choose, along together with the option for that Airscape roof for being either black, gray or red to contrast or match the bodywork. Inside the dashboard, air vent trim, gear lever base and door panel trims is usually specified in brighter colors to live on up the cabin. Small, but added practicality. Designed greatly with cities planned, the new C1 is less and narrower than before, targeted at helping maneuverability in tighter spaces, and features low rolling resistance tires to scale back fuel consumption. Electric power steering means the wheel is light but direct, while hill start assist preps any slope steeper than 3%. It'll hold 4 people too, even when the rear bench is best suited for the children rather than adults, while boot space using the seat setup totals 196 liters and 780 liters together with the rear bench folded. The verdict: small, trendy and cheap to perform, the Citroen C1 is deservedly popular. Particular pluses are the excellent 1.2-liter PureTech engine. its tight turning circle and relatively comfortable ride. Although this has been around a bit, will still be up there together with the best-in-class Volkswagen Up, although its residuals and image aren't as strong since its German-badged rival. A good budget buy. But look around for a good deal. Watch on inside the Citroen C1 full review whether or not this has got the required steps to best its rivals within the city car sector. You ought to be within the mood for the greatest Citroen C1 performance, as both three-cylinder petrol engines crave high revs if you're hoping to produce any form of meaningful progress. In fact, irrespective of whether you opt with the 1.0 or 1.2-liter triple, you'll need to get close to 6,000 revolutions per minute for optimum power and torque. The larger example is marginally more willing lower down. Wind the smaller engine for the max and you'll scrabble, noisily, from 0.62 miles per hour in 13 seconds. And when you've got a good enough stretch of road, then 96 miles per hour is theoretically possible. For precisely the same sets of figures, the bigger 1.2-liter PureTech will manage a duration of 10.9 seconds with an absolute of 106 miles per hour. In truth though, both cars perform best of their just work at lower speed, where their relative lightness is necessary, and they are far more suited for the 030 miles per hour dash instead. Either way, you'll understand the C1's progress, because triple-cylinder engines are definitely not hushed, emitting a characterful but sometimes tiring thrum when your speed increases. There's no diesel engine available with the C1, which isn't surprising in the leap forward with petrol technology, along with the efficiency gains which were seen in modern times. If you need or want a mechanical gearbox, there is certainly one provided with the 1.0-liter engine only. If you're investing in a C1 and seeking tight sporty handling after that, your hand will need to have slipped while browsing the Citroen Configurator, a performance car this is not. However, it is a major city car, with suspension designed for your rigors of city life. That means in spite of the short wheelbase 2,340mm, the C1 copes while using lumps and speed bumps from the city effortlessly. Along with light steering, matching the other control weights with the car equally, it will make the Citroen a wonderfully easy driving city car. And as it's possibly not at home on vacation, it's not disgraced either. Sure, there's plenty of body roll being experienced, but nothing surprising or untoward. And if you are doing experience excessive for your liking, the simple answer is only to slow down. Get within the fact the center console looks a little to be an angry Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on the Ghostbusters film, and you'll realize the cabin with the new Citroen C1 can be a step forward above the previous models. Certainly quality is much improved, and although it might not match a VW Up or Skoda Citigo for ambience and solidity, it's less utilitarian than before. The modular construction, using a distinct instrument pod to match that center console, looks young and funky, just because designers clearly intended. Next on the speedometer there is certainly a neat rev counter display, and it's all an easy task to watch within the move. You do sit high, and quite upright, behind the 3-spoke tire. However, the C1 is wide enough to be sure you're not constantly scraping shoulders along with your front seat passenger when for the move. And once you're used to your driving position, you'll sometimes be quite comfortable, even on longer journeys. Choose the Airscape model, a trim that Citroen UK expects for being popular, and you'll take advantage of the open Caravan convertible on account of that fabric roof that slides back to your rear on the car without any on the associated shaking or flex. Roof open, it will make the cabin brighter and feel slightly larger than it is, whether or not headroom from the rear does suffer correctly. One thing that can take some getting employed to is the 7-inch touch drive interface, which uses mirror screen technology to get into and display any content from the smartphone, including apps plus your music, within the central screen, which didn't feel entirely intuitive make use of during our experience with the little Citroen. The French firm is acknowledged for its ride quality, so desires Citroen C1 comfort are high. And also the good news is always that in general it scores well in this field. Around town, at low speeds especially, the soft suspension means it digests lumps and bumps without bother, as well as the C1 is relaxing and very easy to drive around urban environments. That said, you'll need to learn to love the thrum on the 3-cylinder engine that's especially apparent under hard acceleration. That's another thing you'll have to get utilized to, since the C1 uses a firm prod from a right foot to relocate at any pace. The front seats are happy too, though they are doing sit quite high, along with the steering wheel only adjusts for angle, so slotting yourself for your perfect driving position isn't everything that easy. There's only room for 2 inside back though, and taller adults will see traveling back there a pain inside the neck, literally. Like the C4 Cactus, DS4 and also the previous C1, the trunk windows only pop outwards on hinges, in lieu of wind down. Nevertheless, the optional Airscape fabric roof usually supplies enough outside even for those within the rear. However, as it may fight to match current class leaders such as VW Up, it's still an improvement in the previous model in regards to comfort. There are 3 trim levels available for your Citroen C1, Touch, Feel or Flare, as the optional Airscape fabric roof is merely available around the latter pair. Standard Citroen C1 equipment. Buy the most basic Citroen C1 and you ought to expect a rudimentary specification, considering that the Touch model does minus the excellent 7-inch touchscreen or perhaps air conditioning. What it will include is Hill Start Assist, which props up car constantly in place on slopes when you move removed from a standstill, 6 airbags, LED daylight running lamps, rear ISOFIX points, remote central locking, front electric windows, and also a 2-speaker stereo with USB and MP3 capability. If you need to experience a greater stereo, then your mid-spec Feel would be the model to pick out, having a 4-speaker DAB radio and contralse-mounted controls. The 14-inch steel wheels in the Touch model are substituted with 15-inch models with assorted covers, while the spine bench is now able to split 50 hours 50 minutes when folded down. Drivers may well be more comfortable because of the high adjustable seat and air conditioning, even though the inclusion with the 7-inch touch drive screen is often a welcome addition that definitely makes the cabin feel far more premium. That includes the mirror screen function, which enables smartphone proprietors to sync a selection of their phone's display and content with all the touch screen, including save functions. To use it, you should download an app called App in Car that's compatible with both Apple and Android-based phones. The final trim inside lineup may be the Flare model, which adds 15-inch alloy wheels, tinted rear windows and also a chrome window surround for the exterior on the C1. While the trunk windows are still with the pop-out variety, the wing mirrors are heated and electrically adjustable, and there's a rev counter just behind the leather tire. You'll want to keep around the right side with the law using the speed limiter plus the correct side with the fence on account of the reversing camera. Airscape specification models are merely available about the top 2 trims, even though the Touch contains the 1.0-liter 69 bhp engine. The Feel adds the option in the PureTech 1.2, and also the Flare is usually specified together with the 1.0-liter with stop-start, the typical 1.2-liter, and also the ETG automatic robotized manual gearbox. At launch there exists a limited edition Airscape Feel Edition model which gets stripy body pillars, bright red interior trim and alloy wheels. Optional Citroen C1 accessories. There are many option packs with the Citroen C1, for example the Serenity Pack 250 pounds which adds a speed limiter and reversing camera, Automatic Pack 300 pounds including auto AC, headlights and heated electrically adjustable door mirrors. The Automatic Pack Plus 570 pounds adds keyless admittance to that list, while numerous color packs changes exterior and interior trim details for brighter, more personalized choices. Rear head restraints are simply just 50 pounds, while a rev counter is 40 pounds, space saver rear wheel 70 pounds and also the reversing camera just 150 pounds. Currently Euro NCAP still hasn't takes a hands-on one, but we'd expect Citroen C1 safety being better than the earlier model, which notched up 3 stars last 2012. We'd be surprised, as would Citroen, whether it scores under 4 stars this time around out. There are 6 airbags suited to all C1s as standard, comprising a front, side and head system, As you move, the front seat belts have pyrotechnic pretensioners to tighten the belt currently of impact. And should you forget to place your belt on, the C1 will alert you to this using a warning buzzer. And obviously the Citroen C1 has tire pressure monitoring fitted as standard, as well as being the usual complement of stability control and ABS. In the back you'll find some ISOFIX child seat mounting points, while Bluetooth connectivity is definitely an option. Given its size, it's not surprising that Citroen C1 practicality isn't its strongest selling feature. Having said that, it's going to relatively comfortably sit for adults as well as some bags. With the trunk seats in position, the boot hold 196 liters of luggage. In case you should carry passengers, then folding a corner seats liberates a complete of 780 liters of space. The glass tailgate reveals a comparatively wide opening too, although the boot's depth entails it could be tricky to lift heavy components of and out. Taller adults may fight to sit behind those of a similar height though, because the seat backs are relatively thick. And it's made increasingly apparent because of the optional airscape trim, the information presented roof as well as mechanism robbing rear passengers of headroom by some margin. If you take advantage of the wind from the hair feeling, then the trunk seats are for the children only. Legroom isn't perfect back there either, and passengers in a very VW Up or Skoda Citigo enjoy considerably more space inside the back.